I saw her face in the dark, and it wasn't human. It all started when I got an invitation to a wedding. The envelope was red and gold, with my name written in big letters. I didn't know the names of the bride and groom, but the invite said it was from my cousin, Chike. He was always full of surprises, so I didn't think much of it. The wedding was in a village far from mine, a place I had never heard of. My mother told me not to go. She said, if you don't know the bride and groom, why go? But I laughed it off. I thought she was just being old fashioned. The day of the wedding, I traveled alone. When I reached the village, everything felt strange. The trees looked too big, their branches reaching out like they wanted to grab me. The air was cold, even though the sun was high. The wedding was deep in the forest. I followed the sound of drums and singing. The closer I got, the louder it became. But it didn't sound joyful. The drums were too slow, the singing too deep. It made my skin crawl. When I reached the clearing, I saw them, hundreds of people dressed in bright clothes, all sitting silently. The bride stood in the center. Her back was to me, but her dress sparkled like stars. The groom wasn't yet there. I sat at the back, trying to stay quiet. Something about the place didn't feel right. The trees were too close, their shadows stretching like long fingers. The people didn't move or speak. They just stared ahead like statues. The bride turned around. Her face was wrong. Her eyes were too big and black. Her smile stretched too wide, like it didn't belong to a human face. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. She pointed at me. You are not invited, she said in a voice that was too many voices at once. I froze. The crowd turned to look at me. Their eyes were empty. Black holes where light should be. You took someone else's place, the bride said, and now you must stay. The drums started again, louder this time. The ground shook, and I saw shadows moving between the trees. They weren't human. They had too many arms, too many legs. They were coming closer. I ran. I didn't look back. The forest was alive, branches grabbing at me, roots trying to trip me. I ran until I couldn't hear the drums anymore, until I was back in the sunlight. When I reached home, I burned the invitation. I never told anyone what happened, but every night I dream of that bride and her too wild smile. And sometimes the wind blows just right. I hear the drums again.